What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Channel 8 podcast. I'm your host, Sean Go, and today we have a very special guest, another creator or influencer out of Toronto, Canada, Bryson Moore, and you probably know him better as Bryce Kicks on Instagram. How's it going, man?
Oh, it's going so well. How are you?
Pretty good. It's Friday. Can't complain. It's a nice day outside. I'm probably gonna go for a walk after this, but what about you?
Yeah, totally. Same here. It's been a string of cloudy days here in the GTA, so I'm happy to, have some sunlight and I got a bit of a busy week, a weekend planned. Also I'm fresh off the vaccine, so if I
Oh, sweet.
start
Congrats.
passing out midway through the interview, just call 911. No, but lots of stuff going on. But like I said, I'm happy the weather's nice. It's so much better as I'm sure you know, is as a creator, when the weather is nice in Canada, it's just such like an amazing feeling to finally be able to get out and from the snow and the cold weather.
Trying to create content in like the winter is rough because you do full outfits and stuff, so you must be like dying sometimes in the cold.
Dude, I have like shot every square corner of my basement just trying to mix it up because I tried to change up the scenery every once in a while. But oh, you have no idea. I shot an Air Max 95 outfit video in January and I thought I was going to die. My hands were frozen. So yeah, you know what it's like. And I'm just so excited. In the summer before, man, I was shooting some great stuff. I incorporated I rented a Porsche just so I can make a video and incorporate it with sneakers. And it was just winter really does stint my creativity and I tried to think outside the box, but there's also been some learnings and some wins within shooting inside and in my house. So it's all a learning process for sure.
Before we get into like the details about what you do, for those that aren't too familiar with your work, I start off the show usually just talking about what shoes you've been wearing the past week or two.
So the shoes that I've been wearing the past week, funny enough, and I'll pull it up, is actually probably the most worn right now is the Adidas Samba. So this is a shoe that, of course, Jerry Lorenzo pulled up on his Instagram a couple months ago, and it sparked my interest. And I was like, you know what? Let me try and test out the shoe. And most importantly is that this shoe has roots in soccer and indoor soccer. And so playing that my entire life, it was like a second reason. So I was like, you know what, that's probably a good idea that I should get them. And so sure enough, I figured I'd give them a shot. I even bought these off of Amazon, which is one of the rare decent sneakers you can get off of Amazon. So I went ahead and I bought it and I just taken them off my foot. They're nice and narrow and I have a narrow foot and I've just been putting a ton of miles in these and I'm really happy. That some people, the Jerry Lorenzo effect. Yeah. Call it whatever it is. I love this shoe. So this is one and, just some Dunks and Air Max sneakers, that kind of stuff.
For me, it's been pretty not too creative, I guess you could say. Like I got the two pairs of the ALD New Balance 550s.
Yeah.
The red and blue and the yellow and green. So I broke up both of those just because it's like a fire silhouette.
Yeah, totally. I have one of the ones right here as well. I was able to pick these up, super happy. And you know what? Most importantly, and this is a topic we might be able to dive into, is just a lot of people seem to have gotten their hands on these, and I think that's incredible. We've been into sneakers for a while, and it's never been a more difficult time to buy sneakers at the moment. So when I see a shoe, I've never been the one that says like, oh, I want the exclusive shoes that nobody has. As long as I get my pair, I'm always happy. So I'm very excited about these ALDs. I'm actually shooting a lookbook for this tomorrow. So I'm really excited to jump into those.
Yeah, other than that, I've been pretty simple. I wore a couple beaters at my door, like the white cement 3s, black cement 3s, and then I wore the Nike Cosmic Unity. Foot Locker Canada sent me a pair of those. So I can't play basketball obviously because everything's shut down. So I just wore them just to work, just wore them around casually. And so yeah, that's pretty much my week. Have you been buying a lot of shoes lately? Any big pickups other than the ALDs?
So two pickups recently. I've sort of slowed down. This is the Vast Gray Nike Dunks. I bought these resale. I'm really happy with the colorway. The quality is terrible,
Yeah,
but
man.
that's a conversation for another day. You got to call it like it is, right? You win some, you lose some. But this is a very wearable color for me. Just the overall aesthetic of the shoe is something that I love. So these are the two recent pickups. I've sort of been slowing down buying just a bit, just because my girlfriend and I are looking to get a condo. So I know, as you know, that there are going to be a lot of expenses and other things to come. So those are sort of the two recent pickups in the past month.
How's the condo search? Because the I know real estate here in Toronto is absolutely like on fire.
Yeah, it's been a nightmare, man. It's been a
Yeah.
nightmare. I wish, as like many other things in life, I wish I had gotten in a little bit earlier. But we've probably seen, like 24 different places.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Like we're talking like six or seven places a week for the past 4 weeks. So it's been a lot, and but we're sort of getting closer and closer and closer. So we're looking to still buy in Mississauga. For those that don't know, it's just a city outside of Toronto. But yeah, it's been really crazy. But I'm excited. It seems like if there's a time, now is the time. And we're looking to buy as well, so build up a little bit of equity in that sense. But yeah, it's been crazy. But I'm really excited to finally find a place very soon that we both love.
Well, good luck, man. Like I know
Yeah.
it's not easy, but I'm sure eventually you'll get something. So for me, for my pickups of the week, there wasn't too many. Like I'm looking at my like I have the accountant in me puts everything on an Excel spreadsheet. So I'm just looking at my
Yeah.
sheet right now. I got the Adidas Forum 84 low. So size sent that over to me. That
Amazing.
that model, I'm telling you, man, the quality for the price is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I made a video recently about like trends in summer for fashion and sneakers. That was the one shoe, that one of those shoes that I mentioned. That was just like, this shoe I think is going to be super popular, and it's really great. Just the overall aesthetic. It sort of has that ALD kind of vibe to it, with some of the the yellowing of the midsole, but it seems like a really really great shoe. I have a bid on StockX for one of them. If it gets accepted, then I'll buy it. But I'm not trying to go too crazy paying, 250, $300 for them. But
Yeah, I hear you.
yeah, I totally agree with you. Those are an amazing pair of shoes. And even the colorways that they have with the blue, there's a green one as well, I think, that's been released. So I really love that shoe.
Yeah, I've been like on a bit of a Adidas like wave lately. So I got Adidas Canada sent me the ZX 8000, the black Lego pair, but then I bought the yellow Lego pair today when they dropped. Aside from that, Air Max 1 Milan from like 7 8 years ago, I picked up a VNDS pair from Facebook for a really solid price. And last couple pairs, Air Jordan 5 Stealth from footlocker.ca, and I think that's it, man. Yeah, that's
I
about
loved
it.
your before and after, or not before and after, but like your recent pick versus your old pick. It just goes to show the progression. It's incredible.
Yeah, for anyone listening that doesn't follow me on Instagram, like I posted a picture of the Stealth Fives that I shot like this week, and then the OG Stealth Fives from 2006. I took a picture of that with my like 3 megapixel digital camera back in the day. So it's kind of a before and after progress pic.
Was there any intention when you took that first pick of like, okay, I want to take a great picture? Do you know what I mean? Or were you just like, I'm just gonna take a picture, or was it like, okay, let me try and take a good picture?
If you look at that picture again, you'll see there's like 2 sheets of white paper underneath the box on the shoes. And in my mind, I was trying to make it kind of like a backdrop, sort of, because I
Yeah,
shot it on top of a cabinet, and that was like a darker wood. So then I was like, I don't know what I was thinking, but I was kind of trying, but it was still trash. But I mean, you got to start somewhere.
totally. And I think, just from sort of like a creative standpoint or a creator standpoint, I think progression is such an important part of what we do. And, when you start off, when you join you create a YouTube channel, you start an Instagram account, if you look back at your work a year ago and be like, ooh, that was so bad, that's actually a good
Oh
thing,
yeah,
because it means that you've progressed and you've gotten so much better. And it's something that I do all the time. My first video I ever posted on YouTube, it was like half out of focus. But if I had never gotten started, then I wouldn't, then I wouldn't have, I guess, accomplished what I have today. So I think that progression is such an important thing as a creator, and it's a good thing to feel those cringe moments, you know?
So I don't really know your backstory, like how, because you're fairly young. I'm assuming you're in your 20s, right?
Yeah, I'm turning 27 in a couple months. Usually I surprise people. They think I'm like 19 or something, but I got a young face.
I would have thought you're like 23 or something, but that's a good thing,
Yeah,
I
no, I'm,
guess.
I'm 27. Well, I will be 27. It's funny when you're young, you like to round up, but like my parents, they're like rounding down all the time. You know what I mean? So,
So how did you get into sneakers? Like what kickstarted it all?
I've always had a fascination with shoes, much like other people. You know, you go to the mall with your family, and you go into the Foot Locker or whatever, and you just like marvel at all the shoes on the walls. And so I think that was sort of like the starting point. But it wasn't until, I noticed that my cousins, I looked up to those guys. They've always had cool shoes, retros. At the time I didn't know what they were, so I didn't know that they were retros, but they were always wearing Air Max and Jordan, and I would always be commenting on their shoes. And it wasn't until my cousin Aaron, if he's listening, shout out to you. It wasn't until my cousin Aaron was just like, hey, like, let me show you my collection. So we go up, and we go up to his closet, and it's just like similar to your background, just floor to ceiling, just stacked with shoe boxes, and he would pull them out, and he would talk about them, and I would just be like, whoa, that's so cool. And still to this day, there's one pair in particular that really jumps out to me, and it was the Air Jordan 17 that came in the briefcase.
Yeah.
To this day, it's one of the most underrated sneakers, I think. But with the briefcase, without the briefcase, the Air Jordan 17 is kind of okay. But I remember because it's a nice metal suitcase, and you click it open, and you open it, and it's just like there's a CD-ROM in the case. And then there's the Air Jordan 17, and it still had like the peel off sticker on the heel, because there's a little bit of like a metal or a metallic piece on it. And so I was just like, whoa, that was so cool. So since that day, that was like the pivotal moment of me getting into shoes. And then, of course, like similar to other people, it wasn't until I was able to, afford buying sneakers that I was getting into retros and stuff like that. But I did go through a couple like Team Jordans. You go into the mall, and you're just like, oh, there's a Jumpman on these, I'm just going to buy them. So I did get a couple of those like random like Jordan flight models. And then Aaron's brother, Justin, he one day, after just me commenting on the shoes, talking about shoes, he handed me a sneaker box and just like walked away. I was like, what's this? I opened it, and it was a pair of the Air Jordan 5 in the wolf gray colorway. And that was my
Wow.
first pair of retros.
That's your cousin, right?
Yeah, my cousin.
Damn.
Yeah. So they've just been like, these people that they were guys that I looked up to. They always had these crazy stories of just them growing up, and because they grew up in Parkdale and downtown, and it's just like I just marveled that these guys were the coolest guys to me. And so when one of them hands you a pair of DS, Air Jordans, you've never owned a pair of retros before, you're just like, yo, this is so cool. So that was sort of the start of it. And as you can imagine, taking BBM photos, and it was like my MSN display picture, like all that other fun stuff. So
And are those guys still buying sneakers these days, or are they done?
Aaron definitely still is. He's him and I still go back and forth all on Instagram, just talking about kicks and stuff like that. He's had some major come ups recently. He was one of the raffle winners for the Dior Air Jordans, and he
Wow.
was talking to me about
Nice.
the experience of getting those. Actually, it was so Aaron's sister, my cousin Sarah. She had actually won the raffle in her GS size. And so both of them, because it was like $3,000 retail, both of them split it. But essentially their story was pretty crazy with it, because you get invited to the Dior store. They bring you to the back. They have like felt gloves on. They open up the case. They show you the shoe. They're like, yeah, like, let's get out of here. You know what I mean? And so they ended up buying the shoe, and I think they're sitting on it, which is obviously a very smart idea. But yeah, I still talk to them about kicks all the time.
That's amazing, man. So then how did you go from like a kid who was looking up to his cousins to starting into creating content for yourself? Like, where did that come from? Because I know your sister, she's like a content creator as well, right?
Yeah, my sister. Yeah, my sister's really found her niche in sort of like the motherhood and fashion side of things. So she's killing it on Instagram, and her and I, are constantly talking about like, Instagram and, social media stuff. So it's really great to also have someone I'm very close to, just to go back and forth with like, because she has a lot of experience working with brands and stuff like that. So once those things started to kick up for me, she was definitely someone that I leaned on. But essentially, just similar to you, you find this passion of yours, and you just like stumble on YouTube. I've always since 2006 just been into watching YouTube videos. It was just how I used to pass the time. And I just like stumble upon these guys who were talking about shoes and doing those early group of shoe reviewers. I just was like, you know what? I would love to do this too, but I just had excuses for myself. I don't know if it was low self-esteem or just, definitely was a little bit of that, but I just, I felt nervous putting myself out there. And some of my excuses were just like, oh, I don't have enough money to buy content to come up with a regular cadence of posting videos and that kind of stuff. So I just eventually was just like, I'm going to take the leap. And, in 2018, in February of 2018, I just set up a camera and just talked about a recent pickup that I got, which was the Air Jordan 8 in the OVO colorway, the black one. And so I did like a OVO kind of collection because I had a couple other like pieces from them. So that was February 2018 was the first YouTube video I ever put out. And it was the one where it was out of focus and no microphone. But like I said, it was the start, it was just like, it's just kind of throw it out there,
Yeah, you touched upon something super important, and I can attest to this as well, like the whole self-esteem thing, because my whole life I've been comfortable behind the camera. I've been comfortable being the guy taking the pictures, but not being taken. What's the word? How do you say it? I didn't like being in front of the camera. Let's just say that. And it just came to a point where like I had established like a decent following on Instagram, but I was thinking to myself, like, how can I like differentiate myself from everyone else? What's something I'm not really comfortable doing, but I just need to like kick my own butt and just give it a shot, right? So then I just said, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel. I'm gonna put out a couple of videos, and if it tanks and if it's terrible, then I'll stop. But at least I tried.
Yeah, you and I sort of have a similar thing as well, where we were also into cameras too. Like in 2007, my dad got our first like DSLR camera, and that was the first camera that I shot my video with. It was a Canon T2i, and so like where I'm at now, I'm so happy to have this passion that combines one of my passions, which is sneakers, but also I genuinely love the process of making a video. And I think that's also very important, is you have to enjoy the process of it. Like when it like setting up like I just got a new camera. I'm super excited that I got this new Canon 90D, really happy with it. And it's just, it's the passion of just buying new lenses is also the same feeling that I get when I buy a new pair of sneakers as well. Cause it's like, wow, I have this new way of shooting this content. So it is like the marriage of all of these things coming together. And I feel very privileged and happy that I found this passion of mine that's very quickly becoming more than just a passion. And I know that you can relate to all of that too.
Yeah, man. Everything you said is like me, like a couple years ago, but like spot on.
What was that feeling like when you got your Air Jordan 12 playoffs though?
When I was a kid?
Yeah.
Oh, so for those that don't know, like the Air Jordan 12 playoff OG was the very first Air Jordans I ever got when I was a kid. It was given to me by my aunt's boyfriend, who she's with, like her partner now. And I wore them for the first time for my elementary school basketball tournament. So it was, in few words, I was just in awe. Because like I looked up to Michael Jordan and I saw him wearing the playoff 12s, and I never thought I would ever own a pair of Jordans because my parents weren't about that life, right? But it just felt like when I wear these shoes, I could be like Mike, and I could be like so much better on the court. But obviously, I was terrible. But
see, you're much braver than I, because you put them straight to feet and wore them in a basketball game. When I got my first pair, I kept them in a glass case for like 6 months, just like holding it, like I remember when I one of my other first pair of retros I was able to finally start working, you can buy it, was the Air Jordan 4 white cement in 2012. And I can't believe that was almost like 10 years ago now, which is crazy. But you get it. You're like, holy cow, this is like the nicest thing I've ever seen in my life. And you're so scared to wear them. At least I was. So that it's crazy, you get this thing and you're just like so much meaning to it. And I think guys like us, like one of the ways that we get into this sort of hobby or passion or career is that you hold feelings towards a certain product. It's not just a pair of shoes. It's the feeling you get when you wear the shoes. It's the confidence. It's that, that like, wow, it's the awe that it comes from it. And similar to you, a lot of it starts with Michael Jordan, like I'm a Jordan guy. Like if Nike is obviously a big part of that as well. But my first cup pickups were just retros, just because it's like, you can always, when it comes to Jordans, you can always lean on the history of Michael Jordan,
Yeah, there's so much behind him, the legacy, all that stuff. So yeah, we're totally on the same page. So like, I want to ask you, so your content is a little bit different than mine in that I'm pretty much solely focused on sneakers, whereas your content is much more complete in the sense that you discuss clothing and full fits. Can you touch upon that? Like, where did you get into style and all that stuff?
Yeah, so style is similar to my feeling of walking into Foot Locker as a kid. It was just something that I always sort of and when I think about it, my mom is very like style oriented. She's always like buying clothes and stuff like that. So I think I probably get it from her more so than my dad. But yeah, it was just something that I always was just like it wasn't just like, so I get the shoes, right? And I'm happy that I have the shoes, but it's like, how can I style this in a way that it sort of completes the outfit? And I think that, I was thinking about this the other day, because I went to a Catholic high school. And so we had to wear uniforms all the time. And one day per month, we were allowed to wear like street clothes. And so for me, it wasn't just like, oh, I'm going to show up to school wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt. It was like, this is my opportunity. This is this is my time. I've been waiting for this all month, And so I think that's part of where it comes from as well, is just like, high school, just like, people, and when I was in high school, sneaker culture was like a niche. It wasn't as mass and as popular. And I'm not, trying to claim like I'm the old guy, but you know what I mean? Like, it's the truth. Like when I was into shoes and I was wearing retros, there was only a handful of people that were actually knew what shoes I was wearing, whether it was the Air Jordan 10 Chicagos or, that was another pair that I was wearing in school, and in the 5s and the 4s. Those were sort of my 3 rotation at the time. So yeah, I think it was like, we used to call them Civvies Day. That was like the day where you would wear street clothes. So I think that played a big part about it as well. It's just like, people are going to be there, and, people are going to be noticing what I'm wearing in a sense. And I just, because my friends, they're not into shoes. They're not really into fashion. So for me, it was just something that I really found on my own. And, when I started applying it to sort of my YouTube lens, I looked at some of my favorite creators on YouTube, and they were also very fashion oriented. It wasn't just the shoes, it was the clothes. So as you can imagine, a guy like Eddie Wynn was a big inspiration for me. And I started out modeling my content after what he was doing in terms of his lookbooks and stuff. So for me, it was, I got to be honest, like a big part of it is just too, is like the success, I guess you could call, in some of my videos, is just like the ones where people were looking at the lookbooks. It was never just the shoes and the reviews, which I do here and there. But for me, it was always just the complete fit. It was always just, the appearance of everything. And so I think that's a lot of the value that I deliver today and across all my social media channels is, providing outfit ideas for people who have sneakers,
In terms of like your style though, I'm sure you know what you like, what you don't like. Is there a way that you would define how you dress and what your style is?
It changes. It changes for sure. My style has changed with the seasons. It changes with the times, and I can't necessarily put a name on my style, but at the moment, I do like a lot of vintage and a lot of old clothing in a sense. Like it's because it tells a story to it. It just has that sort of that feeling of, some people only wear new stuff because they don't like the idea of wearing used clothing or whatever. But for me, it's like I throw it in the wash and it comes out the same way. So for me, my style right now is just very like old and baggy, which doesn't sell itself very well. But the reason why I say that is because 5 years ago, it was the opposite of that. It was very like Zara, H&M, which I still shop today, but it was very much like tight fitting clothing, and skinny jeans, and still the same sneakers. I still, my trends in sneakers also changed too, right? And so, back then when I was getting into shoes, like things like the LeBron 9 were like the biggest shoe out, and Nike basketball was killing it. But just to get back into the style, yeah, it's just, it changes. I can't necessarily put a name on the type of style that I have, but, I do draw a lot of inspiration from the community, the people that I follow on Instagram. That's where I get it. And I think, following, and I would tell this to anybody listening who wants to get in, maybe they want to get into a little bit more fashion. There's a bunch of Instagram accounts that you can follow where they repost people's outfits. And, that's kind of where I draw my inspiration. I see what other people are doing, and then I apply my own lens to it. And I think that goes across for a lot of what I do now, is just like observing the world around me and then just putting sort of like my own spin and touch to it.
What are some of those accounts that you follow, just so anyone listening wants to check it out?
Yeah. So a good one that I really like is one called CS The Label. And the reason why I like them is because they post a lot of, non-influencer type content. So they repost people who are engaged in the community of their page. When they repost fits, it's people with, 1,000 followers, 800 followers. It's just like, objectively, is this outfit nice? And not so much like, I'm going to repost this person's fit because they have, an influence, or they have a large social media following. So that's definitely one of them. I have a couple, but that's probably my main one. Streetwear Cathedral. That's another one. Outfit Influence, Outfit Society, those kinds of ones. They kind of, if you go to one and you click that little arrow on Instagram where it shows related ones, they're all pretty good.
But yeah, like you said about how style has changed and stuff like that. That's totally true for me as well. I think not most, but a lot of us probably evolved from a bit more of a slimmer fit and slimmer jeans and joggers more recently to now it's becoming more relaxed and more comfortable and like cropped pants and stuff like that. But for me personally, I've always been about comfortable clothing. Like I'm super sensitive. Like I hate itchy clothing, like fabrics that are like scratchy and like tags on the back of my neck irritate me to hell. Like I hate that so bad. So I've always been first and foremost like comfortable, and then like I try to be like presentable, but like I've never considered myself to be like stylish. But that's where like I look up to people like you and like other people that create content that are so, you guys have a good sense of completing the look. Cause like I can pick out like a fire pair of kicks and like, yeah, maybe I can throw on some decent pants, but I don't really have that vision of top to bottom, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's something that comes with practice, and just on your notion of comfort. That's obviously a big thing, especially nowadays with the pandemic. You look at some of the most popular footwear right now, the foam runners. It's footwear that people are comfortable wearing. But I think a big part of what comfortable is number one is probably the fabric. So there's different types of fabrics that people can wear, but also the number one most important thing to me is the fit. And it's, a lot of what you wear is because it fits you and it fits your body. You can have a fire outfit, but, if you don't feel that your clothing choices are flattering to sort of your body type or your perception of yourself or your image, then, you're not going to enjoy your outfit or anything else like that. So I think number one for me is definitely the fit of the clothing. Are the pants too long? Are they too short? Is the shirt too baggy? Is it too long? So I think that there's a fine balance, but I think one of the key factors of what makes a great outfit is actually the fit. And one of the biggest ways that you can notice this is somebody who wears a suit. When somebody wears a 3-piece suit or a suit, does the jacket sleeves go to their knuckles, or is it perfectly placed where you can see a little bit of the dress shirt underneath? So I totally agree with you there. But and I encourage people to sort of figure out what they like and what they don't like. And it's sad because in the past year, you don't have that option to try on clothing. And so that's one of the things that I've definitely leaned into a lot in my YouTube channel specifically is, finding clothes that are, that are number one is that are affordable, but also are clothes that, I do put a lot of emphasis on how the clothing actually fits and provide sizing recommendations and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I totally get it. When it comes to style, to me, like I said, fit is definitely something that's very important.
Yeah, another thing you mentioned is affordable, because I want to share a little story. Again, if you don't follow me on Instagram, I posted a screenshot of a comment on my one of my YouTube videos. Basically, someone was implying that I should be wearing more expensive pants. Specifically, I don't know why he said this, but he said specifically I should be wearing diesel pants to match with my shoes. So, like you mentioned, like the stuff that you look for is oftentimes affordable, and I think that's so important because people get so caught up with automatically assuming if it's expensive, that means it's looks good first of all, and more specifically, it looks good on you, which not necessarily is the case.
Yeah, that's so true. First of all, I would just like to say between the two of us, we could write a book on like YouTube comments. You know what I mean? Like I had one or just Instagram comments, like I had one recently where it was, I posted a video about a pair of like my favorite cargo pants to wear at the moment. And someone had read it, commented like, oh, like you only wear Jordans. Like I didn't even watch the full video. I posted 5 different pairs of cargo pants, 2 of which I was wearing Jordans. And it's just like, are you that lazy? Like you hate yourself that much that you're trying to like put your projection onto me? But either way, it's a conversation for another day. But yeah, affordability is something that I think is very important because, like I said, when I was getting into shoes, you can only afford a couple pairs if you can afford it. My parents, they weren't dishing out hundreds and hundreds of dollars to buy me sneakers. Then you get to become a high school student, you get your part-time job, and then it's like, okay, maybe I can afford 1 pair. And then you go to university and it's almost like you can afford less pairs because, there's so many other expenses, textbooks and what have you. So I've always tried to look for affordable options that sort of give that same style of of sort of luxury clothing. And when you think of influencers today, celebrities today, they're obviously wearing a lot of high-end brands. So a lot of the value that I think I deliver is sort of looking at these different trends and then providing outfit ideas or product recommendations that are sort of a bit of a more affordable option and something that is more accessible, right? So, I still shop at H&M. I still shop at, some of these fast fashion places because of number one, accessibility, right? For me, something that's very important for me today, buying clothes, is return policy. Like I want to buy these clothes, but I have no idea how they're going to look when they arrive to me.
Mm-hmm.
I see the model wearing it on the website, but when it comes, so a lot of these brands they have to have like things like good shipping and fast shipping and returns. And so it's been crazy because in the past year I've really leaned into Amazon and buying clothes off of Amazon, which people don't think of right away. But and the best part about Amazon, and full disclosure, is that they have an affiliate program. And so that's one of the ways that I make money on YouTube, is actually providing some of these links to people. That's to no additional cost to them. But if they use that link to purchase, I receive a small commission from it, which is really helpful for me. Like I said, if you want me to keep buying sneakers and making content, of course, guys like us, we have to make money, right? Like that's just how it has to work. So Amazon has been a great opportunity that I've been really leaning into, just because people are shopping at Amazon. Guys like us, we live in Toronto. You literally cannot go to the store and buy underwear right now. You have to buy it off of Amazon. So people are already buying all of this stuff. And so for me, it's like, okay, people are buying all of this stuff on Amazon. So maybe they would be interested in buying a pair of $40 cargo pants off of Amazon. And so in doing this, I've realized that they have a lot of great product to offer on there. And yeah, it's been, that's, like I said, just to sort of wrap this up, is, that affordability factor is something that's really big. And I've had people comment, oh, you should wear all more Louis, like, bro, like, you know what I mean? I'm in my parents' basement right now. Like, I got to get out of the house. You want me to get out of the house, then I got to be able to save some money somewhere. So, yeah, that's definitely one of I'd say how I position myself from a value standpoint is, definitely affordability.
Honestly, I had no idea Amazon even sells like half decent clothes until I saw your videos and stuff. So kudos to you. And to that point, a lot of the videos that I post, some of the highest view counts are for shoes that have zero hype, shoes that you wouldn't
Roshi gang.
Roshi's like Nike Blazers, like not the
Yeah.
off white ones, just the GR like Nike sportswear
Yeah.
ones, like just stuff. Even like I think I did a review for okay, I don't even, it's slipping my mind now. The M2K Techno, the one that's kind of like the Monarch, like stuff like that. Like people, like the everyday person that just wants to get like a decent pair of shoes, they'll probably look up review of Nike review, and then they'll look for that stuff.
Let it be known, I'm not the best looking guy. I'm not the strongest. I'm 5'7". I am like the relatable guy. So for us, like would I love to review and style the Dior Air Jordan 1? Yeah, I would love to. But the chances of me getting it, and I'm not going to spend the money for it. So yeah, and you know what, we can relate on that. You know, my most watched video is from a Nike Blazer, you know, and I think that it just timing and things just aligned in a certain way where YouTube started recommending the video. And like I said, it's my most watched video. I think it has like almost like 400,000 views right now. And it's just, like I said, it's just one of those shoes that are people, that's the shoe that people are buying more of. And that's kind of been my bread and butter of my channel is, you know, every year I put out a couple, like one or two videos on the Air Force One, because I know that my audience and my followers, that's the shoe that I know that they have. And same with the Nike Blazers. The Nike Blazers follow suit. I think I've made 3 or 4 videos on the Blazers, and they do well. And I get a lot of engagement and a lot of people asking about it. So I'm happy to provide that type of content, because I do love both of those shoes. Nike Blazer is probably my one of my most worn sneakers, just because it goes well with so many different outfits and that kind of thing, and I find it to be kind of comfortable. But yeah, you know, it is a balance, because you know I just like you, I tried to go after the Amamanye threes, which I was super close. I entered Q with super fast, faster than I ever have, and I just caught the L, you know, because we're also part of Soul Savvy, but it was just one of those things where yeah, it's a balance, you know, because I do want that Aman Manier 3, but I know if I were to make who knows, I'm not exactly sure, but I can imagine that if I were to make a Blazer video compared to that Air Jordan 3 video, I'm not exactly sure which one would get views, because I would have to look into how many people are searching for the threes. But yeah, that's just kind of how it works, is I like to be sort of more on the relatable side.
Last question I had for you. So your channel has grown pretty fast in a relatively short time frame, and I know there's a ton of people listening that probably are looking to make the jump into content creation and into YouTube and into Instagram and stuff like that. Can you share any tips that you've picked up over your journey and that you can share with us?
Yeah, so I would just like to set a disclaimer that if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, then I highly recommend you should. It's not too late. It's not too overcrowded. You can definitely start today and get to a place that you're happy and comfortable with. And one of the successes that I saw early on was just tapping into, and I didn't know it at the time, but looking back, this is the success, is that you tap into sort of searchable content. So it's not so much, if you were to start a vlog channel today, I'm not going to lie to you, it'll be tough unless you have a sensational life and you've got the Lamborghinis and the, you know, those thumbnails of just like, yo, you're pointing at Ferrari. Anyways, you guys get the point. But tapping into searchable content is something that's very important. And what that essentially means is you have to sort of make content that people are searching for. So Sean and I, we've obviously talked a lot about, different types of videos that we've made. And one of the key aspects of it is that it's tied to a specific product or a specific type of product. And that's something that is intentional, but also unintentional at the same point, in that, you know, when you make a video about a pair of Air Force Ones, you know, you should be making that video because people are searching for Air Force Ones. And that's something, early successes that I found. And it's weird that through my YouTube journey, you sort of become like almost like an SEO expert in a sense, and search engine optimization. But it's basically you're really tapping into the keywords of YouTube. And one of the best ways that, you know, an early creator can start, and the different types of videos that they can start making off the bat that'll get them types of views, is just by simply going into the YouTube search bar and type in a specific product. If your favorite shoe is the Nike Dunk, start typing in Nike Dunk, and the first couple suggestions that pop up are videos that you should make on. And I can tell you right now, without even looking, it's going to be Nike Dunk on feet, Nike Dunk styling, Nike Dunk outfit ideas. And so these are the types of videos that you can make and include those keywords into the metadata of the video. And that essentially means it's the YouTube title, it's the YouTube description, and it's the tags. And so there is an art and a science of doing it all. But essentially, those are one of the things that I started out. Like I said, my first video ever was on the Air Jordan 8 OVO. And without knowing, there were people out there looking for reviews of that. And then 2 videos later, I stumbled upon a very successful video early on somehow. And it was on a Supreme waist bag. That was when Supreme waist bags were really popular than fanny packs. So I made a video, how to style a Supreme fanny pack. And within a couple of weeks, I think it had like 10,000 views or something like that, which, and it's a terrible video. Please do not look at it, because that is not like the bar of what or go look at it for a laugh. I know what
I'm doing after this recording.
go watch it for a laugh, and go read the comments, because I just get roasted. But essentially, that's it. And that's when it was like, oh, like why, like that's people are searching for this video, especially with a fanny pack. It's very like polarizing. Like you notice right away if somebody wears a fanny pack almost. So people, I guess, wanted this product and they wanted to know different ways of styling it. And so that was like the aha moment of like, this is the direction that I'm going in, because I like to make this type of content, but also people are looking for this type of content. And so even if you aren't into sneakers and you're listening to this, I'm sure you are, but it goes for any niche, start making videos about things that people are searching for. So whether it's fashion, whether it's fitness, the more specific, in my opinion, that you get with your products, the more you're going to get out of it. If you cast a wide net, like a vlog channel, it's going to be a little bit tough. If you are established and people are curious about your lifestyle, then sure, vlogs will be something that you can definitely introduce. But to sum it up, create content that people are searching for. And the way that you can do this type of stuff is by going into the YouTube search bar. And if you want to get into a little bit more advanced, a website, Google Trends, trends.google.com, you type in a search term and it'll let you know the volume at which people are searching for it. If it's a high volume, that's a great opportunity for you. If it's a low volume, it may be less of an opportunity for you. So that's sort of like a little bit of how like I even come up with some of the content that I make today.
No, it's amazing. Yeah, very, very useful and helpful tips that I even didn't know. So I will definitely try to apply that for my videos going forward. So for everyone listening, if you want to check out Bryce Kicks, that's obviously your Instagram, and your YouTube would be, where would they find you there?
Yeah. Same deal, youtube.com/Bryce Kicks. I got very lucky that like both of the username sort of came out at the same time, that they were available, which was great. And the name itself, people ask me sometimes, it like when we were getting into shoes, Nice Kicks was like one of the few channels, and they were one of the few, like think of, remember those old videos they used to make of like sneak peek, where like they used to go into people's closets.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen those?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
So Nice Kicks I used to watch them all the time. And so Nice Kicks and Bryce Kicks are kind of, as you can imagine. But my name is Bryson. So it took a while for me to, Bryce is short for Bryson, but because my family calls me is Bryce. So it took a while at first when people started referring to me as Bryce, because it was just like, whoa, like this is something that only like my family calls me, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's kind of like where the name came from, and you can just search me there. Another platform is TikTok. I've been posting a lot on TikTok, seeing a lot of success there as well. So if you like quick styling videos and outfit ideas, product recommendations, you can definitely follow me across all those three.
So for anyone listening that wants to check out my YouTube, you can check me out at youtube.com/SeanGo. And my Instagram is at sgo8, and Twitter, which I use a little bit, but not too much, at sean.go spelled out. So Bryson, thank you so much. I learned, honestly, I learned so much from just talking to you for 30 minutes. So very insightful.
Thanks for having me on, man. It's been such a pleasure. I love what you're doing. Keep killing it, as I know you will. And thanks for everybody for listening.